The waiter's serve is a technical error showing the racket face being open as it swings up towards the ball. It looks like this. Or from this angle, the racket face goes towards the ball being open. Basically, the player just wants to make sure that the contact with the ball is made with the strings, therefore opening the racket face too early. Technically, there are two major components that are to be fixed for the waiter's serve. One, when the player gets into the trophy pose from here, they tend to lay back their wrist, obviously opening the racket face. So in the waiter's serve, the player tends to lay back the wrist and open the racket face. The fix would be, once in the trophy pose, we should teach the player to let the racket drop between the V made by index finger and the thumb. So I'm getting to the trophy pose. From here, the racket should drop behind my back between these two fingers, like that. So instead of laying back the wrist, they should be taught to let the racket drop between the two fingers. The second component that we have to teach the player is to learn how to swing up with the edge towards the ball. Later on, we're going to add the pronation to make a clean contact with the strings. So next, I'm going to show you a few drills to achieve exactly just that. First, the grip. You must use a hammer or continental. How do you get it? By placing the V of your hand made by the thumb and the index on the edge of your racket, slide it down towards the bottom of the grip. You hold the racket as you could hammer a nail with the edge of it. First step, get close to a fence, preferably one that has a windscreen. Hold the racket with a continental grip. Place it behind your back with the palm inward and practice swinging up towards the fence with the edge and tap it. This is to create a habit of swinging up towards the contact with the edge first. So again, racket behind your back, relaxed, palm inward, swing up with the edge and tap it. This is going to be your first exercise. Do it at least 10 times. Second step, the same drill as before, beginning with the racket behind your back, palm inward, continental grip, swing up towards the fence, make contact with the edge, and then turn your wrist inward. Turn your palm inward. So swing up to the fence, tap it, and turn inward. Basically, this is called pronation. When the forearm makes the inward rotation, it's called pronation. Again, racket behind your back, swing up, tap it with the edge, and then pronate. Practice this. Swing up, tap with the edge, and pronate. After a while, doing the same exercise, don't tap it with the edge. Just swing up with the edge, and then turn your wrist inward just before making contact. Swing up and turn. Swing up with the edge and turn before making contact. Do this again at least 10 times to create a habit out of it. For the third step, I would like you to come just behind the service line, because I would like you to resist the temptation of swinging too hard, like if you were on the baseline. So just behind the service line, holding the racket with a continental grip, place it behind your back like you did at previous steps with the palm facing inward and continental grip. I would like you to practice tossing the ball and swinging up, trying to hit it with the edge. This is going to be a tough task, but try it. So racket behind your back, toss the ball and try to hit it with the edge. Don't worry if you don't hit it in the beginning, but I would like you to really try to make it a habit of swinging up towards the ball with the edge first. So practice this, I would say at least 10 times. Even if you don't hit it, the idea of swinging up with the edge is very important. Again, toss the ball up and swing with the edge as much as you can. Try to make contact. If you don't worry about it, but make it a habit of swinging up with the edge towards the ball first. The fourth step of our progression would be doing the same drill that I just did, but this time I'm going to swing up towards the ball with the edge and try just before making contact to pronate, which is rotating, turning the forearm inward. So again, swing out with the edge and just before making contact, turn. No follow through, just focus on swinging up and turning the racket just before making contact. This is going to be tempting to open the racket face too early, but focus on swinging with the edge and turning just before making contact. Don't worry about hitting too hard. It's all about swinging up with the edge and turning, making contact. No follow through, just focus on that simple step. For the fifth step, go back to the fence that has a windscreen. Holding the racket with a continental grip, I would like to turn sideways, and we are going to add the backswing to what we previously learned. So pretending we are going to serve into that direction, getting ready, position, take the racket back into the trophy pose. From here, get used to letting the racket drop between the index and the thumb. Okay? So again, let's call this 1, get into trophy pose. 2, let the racket drop between the V made by thumb and index. 3, swing up towards the edge with towards the fence with the edge. And 4, pronate or turn the forearm inward just before making contact with the fence. So we have these 4 steps. 1, bring the racket back and up into the trophy pose. 2, very important, let the racket edge drop between the V of your palm. And 3, swing up with the edge. And 4, pronate, make a clean contact with the strings facing forward. So practice this many times until you get comfortable. You feel this motion. 1, trophy pose. 2, let the racket drop between the 2 fingers. 3, swing up on edge. 4, pronate. That's going to be your 5th exercise in this progression. For the 6th step of our progression, I would like you to position close to a fence, about 2 feet from it, with your back towards it. Get into the serve ready position, facing that way again. The fence is behind me. And I would like you to do is slowly do shadow serves where you bring your racket into the trophy pose first. Practice letting it drop between the 2 fingers as we practiced in the previous exercise. Let it drop behind your back with the edge, and then swing up again with the edge, pronate, and follow through. Now, the reason I want you to stay close to the fence is that if you would go to your old habit where you open the racket face, you would hit the fence. So this is a good exercise to give you a feedback whether you're letting the racket drop from the trophy pose the right way or the old bad way. So again, 2 feet close to the fence, heavy behind you, get into the trophy pose. 1, 2. This is very important. The racket should drop behind your back between the index and thumb. All right? If you're doing it correctly, you should not be touching the fence. Swing up with the edge, pronate, and follow through. Do this exercise slowly. Just get a feel for the whole swing motion. Again, let me do a demonstration. If you would open the palm or lay back your wrist like you did before, you would hit the fence. If you do it the right way, the fence should not be touched by the racket. Practice this again to make it a habit. For the seventh and final step of our progression, I would like you to get close to the service line, not on the baseline yet, because again, I would like you to resist the temptation of swinging too hard. Have a basket of balls close to you and go through the steps that we previously did slowly. Toss the ball up, focus on bringing your racket in the trophy pose, and very important, from here, let the racket drop with the edge behind your back between those two fingers, index and thumb. Swing up towards the ball with the edge and pronate or turn the forearm inward just before making contact and the follow through. Do this slowly, be patient, and just practice the steps that we did before. See, I'm hitting slowly, emphasizing bringing the racket back in the trophy pose, letting the racket drop behind my back with the edge and between those two fingers, swinging up on edge, pronating, and follow through. Again, you would be tempted to go for full power, but don't. Just make it a habit, focusing on those steps that we previously did. Very important also, I suggest that you have somebody watch you and pay attention to what we learned so far. Sometimes you don't realize if you're following, if you're doing the steps correctly. So having somebody paying attention to you would really help. Again, toss the ball up, come into the trophy pose, let the racket drop behind your back with the edge between those two fingers, swing up on edge, pronate, follow through. Nice and easy. Don't hurry. Make sure that the steps that we learned feel comfortable after many repetitions. Slowly in the beginning, be patient. You had a bad habit and now you have to break that and create a new one through repetitions and patience. I hope you enjoy those progression exercises, and from now on you're going to have a more powerful and beautiful serve. Be patient. You are breaking an old habit and creating a new one. Therefore, my advice would be, once you get to step number 7, repeat steps 5, 6, and 7 over and over again until you're making a habit and assure that everything is done correctly. Enjoy your new serve.